returned, and so far it looks okay. It looks like restarting the computer probably fixed the issue it was having. So looking good on that front. Let's see here. What do I need? 20 rabid hounds and information about the Draftling's tire and House of Shepherds. Alright. Well, there's your rabbit hound. I'm not interested in this heroic guy. He is of zero interest to me currently. I'm just gonna see if I can run him off. I don't mind the hound being there, that's fine. I need that. I have 12 of them already, looks like. So, beat upon the sound for a second, and then keep going. Now the brigand is peeled out. And we'll knock out this hound, and I'll go back for some more of those. Now, got that guy. The halfling who's on me left some detriments. Now we got a black rat from the other side. I'm just gonna make this easy on myself and do a feigned death. There we go. Now, that reset the aggro. All is well once more. And I've got another 7 hounds, including this one, to kill for this book quest update that I'm working on. The other book quest that I have is not in a position for me to update it without a little assistance from it wants the fetid black rats. I think that fetid bright rats are only heroic. I could be wrong, but I think so. Got another shiny over there that I definitely need to check out. Especially after emptying my inventory so very much. And hey, almost 2 full bags? That's insane. When does that ever happen? Not in my EverQuest 2 life. Now, if I hop over there, will I be able to grab that? Right about now, actually, I think. Without getting attention. There's 2 of the 3 rabbit hounds. There's the 3rd and 4th, and all 5 times more than I need, turns out. So, let's get this rabbit hound road show on the road. Road on the show? Why not? Why not indeed? There's actually a lot of these book quests here in Enchanted Adventure. I really don't know if there's a lot of them. They just seem to go on for besides that one we're working on, the Leatherfoot Tales. There's only 3 of those, but it's just lengthy, you know. So let's read the next renditions. Read the next page here. What do we got? We've already done the prologue. So we've already done chapter 1. And then the Ranger squad leader and the Sarge held a quiet meeting together, during which time the Sarge furrowed his brow so intently that his eyes were nearly shut. At the conclusion of their discussion, Sarge slapped Gumpy on the shoulder and told him, "Gumpy, you've done us proud. The Rangers are impressed with you, and they've asked me to have your unit work with them on the mission. Good work, son." Gumpy thought this sounded like more work. Hard work. Alright, now we need, to our great shock and dismay, young blight rats. Never, ever would have thought such a thing, I'm sure. And yet, here we are, in the thick of it. It does make one wonder, doesn't it? Like, why do we need the young rats specifically in order to get the next page together? Like, why do the young blood rats have the pages that we need? This is really very much on my mind right now. What is the rationale for that? Alright, dead blight rat number 2. Moving right along. May as well get this grab the pound out of the way. The good news is that the young blight rats are in high supply and relatively low demand. And then a shiny appears, a wild shiny. So I think try and get this rock and this white right over here, and they head out toward the circle or the house of circles. I got an ad starting in 46 seconds. Apparently. This pushes one bright red number 7 out of 20. That's 8, not 8 up anymore. There's quite a few popping up. Which is good. Definitely a high respawn rate on them. Let's see if I can get any part of this rock. Success, all of you. By the way, in case you wondered, the harvests out here are T5. So it's the same level as like the here enchanted bands up. That's the place I'm going. Okay. I think it may be easiest if I just go in this and make my way over there. A little less open. You know, this is circle way. Almost there. Oh. That's unfortunate. I'm staying here. Looks safe. these various detriments out to you. We're off with you in a second. Well, before now, Thane does. There should be multiple different books that light up here. The Pokemon one of the books, if you never start, so I must have already gotten that quest here. There are a few different quests that start here. And then of course there's the updates. This one here in this ledge. This type of books that looks old and dusty. And this ledge. The years haven't been kind to this type of books. There's one there. The fine leather binding covers these books. I can look through another stack, or I can look for information in the draft. Since that's what we're here for, we're going to look for information in the draft. History of the draft below says, well, what are you doing here? Get away from those books. And they say, oh, looking for information on the draft then, are you? He says, rather. We say, a talking book? He says, don't talking book me, you hear? Now, while you're thumbing through that book, no one goes to speak with the draftling. No one goes in or out of the tower. I say, I was sent to bring back a way to do so. He says, by whom? I say, Treat and Merrythorn. He says, no doubt related to those pesky and troublesome Merrythorns from just down the bend. Very well, I suppose I'll come along. I hope your pack is comfy. I say, no, this is odd. So there we are. We'll have to now return the book to Treat and Merrythorn. First, we're going to be in this. I'm very tempted by those shiny lights over there, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go around. Not get in fights with things and perhaps go this way. Right, now, head in this direction toward Treating. Try to put blinders on and not get distracted by any of the other pretty shiny objects in the way. Eyes on the prize and all that. I should also keep my eye out on the tracking window, just in case I see some bright dots in the way. Had to make sure that wasn't an angler, but epic by 2 wolf. It's not what I want to be seen through in Wiz back. Talking. right on top of that rat for me to be able to see it. I was about as blind as a gargoyle. Dog saw through my viz. Back into shooting. Theoretically. There he is. Shooting Marathon.
Hello there.
He says, so this is the book, eh? It'll take me some time to find out what I need. Would you mind slaying a few more nasties while I read? No, of course you couldn't. Off with you. I've got a book to read. I say, such nerd. Now, he wants me to slay some nasty, horrible named type guys. So, Aligos the Betrayer, Zelendros the Fibbringer, and Dimawal the Nor. We absolutely don't want to go slay those guys right now. All by our lonesomes. Instead, we're going to run around and see if we're possible young black cats. By way of oil, of course. I could do. There's a shiny over there, you see. Right. Tantalizing. I thought that Hound would probably get on me. I didn't. So happy because I would have been out this shiny unimpeded. these guys. So, I think I'm probably going to hit the next level before I finish this case of this cult. I guess we'll find out. I can run another route up there. Another blunt route here, Ivy. Looks like we've got an ad starting in 52 seconds. Grabbing some berries harvested stuff while I'm in there. It's interesting how many nodes end up spawning in trees in this zone. So we have put that rat, another one bite rat. Trying to look so I gotta get myself over in that direction, right? Well, no, that's not very nice at all. Let's close off in. So I was just learning last night, apparently in the original Shrek rendition, first of all, the whole feel of it was entirely different, but also Chris Farley was supposed to play Shrek, and I saw one of the scenes that they had done for it yesterday. I thought, huh, I had no idea that Chris Farley was working on that when he died, apparently. And I don't think I had ever heard that before. Certainly I didn't put it together when Shrek came out. All these guys, what rude. It's just none of my business. Phenomenal. I think that's just a phenomenal name right there. There we go. That's more like a private right. Delighted. Nope. No. Like that. I'm getting there. A rabid hound on the rabbit. I'm not too concerned about it. There are 2 more of the young black rats, and then I'll be able to upgrade that. Good. Vitality is 0.4% as far as adventure goes, just to let you know where we're at. I would all personally need my EQ2 harvest to piss out more than anything is the diamond beam, because that was the lowest stone that the jeweler uses. Or at least last time I checked it was. Unless we have had a change in the situation in the decode, but that was the last I know. Been attacked by a white rat, not of the young variety. It's an elderly rat, but maybe. I don't know, it doesn't say it's elf, it could be in the village. Hard to say, really. I don't really want to go awful for that name. I guess I need to ram the butt right off. I'll rabbit hung and test it on you. 2 of them. I thought so. I'd like to work exclusively with exterminately. I'm gonna put at least 1 million, but I write that in track. Just gonna look at stone up on the side. That's my diamond bean right there. I didn't realize I had left one. Sorry about that. Is it one track right here? need a Leatherfoot foot. I can find it. Oh, there it is. Alright. And a 3 log. And then plus 2. Page 5 is where we're at. I think. Oh, but I stay in here. And then read this. The Pithecore Rangers and the Leatherfoot Elite Scout Unit gathered together in Rivervale's Ranger Guild Hall, where both the Sarge and the Ranger Squad leader took turn explaining the mission to the troops. Gumpy slumped dejectedly in his seat. The mission was as bad as it expected. The Leatherfeet and some of the Pithecore units would be heading to near exploring quarter within the hour. And I haven't even had breakfast yet, Gumpy thought sadly. Troops, the Sarge said in his booming voice. We've been hearing for many days now about the war going on over at Fayetteville. Them gnomes has come to Rivervale, report a great loss of life. Them dark elves and such are burning and pillaging as they go. And we got to help stop them before those pesky elves come this way. At this moment, Gumpy slipped out for a snag. It sounded like the Sarge would be carrying on for a while. And that's the orders, troops. Sarge finished speaking as Gumpy returned, his belly full of bacon, cheese, toast, and scrambled duck eggs. Chairs scraped the floor all across the hall as the Leatherfoot's elite troops stood to read. There's the order. What'd I miss? Gumpy asked, the nearest soldier, but there was so much noise in the room, he couldn't get anyone's attention. Come, Hound Slayer, cried one of the Pithecore Rangers. You travel with us. Gumpy sounded relieved. Alright, so now we have to ask various people if they have pages. So we need a barmaid Rosalie, Vienna EQ2, Bindo Half Bottom, and Baker Fargrove. Now, here we have Vienna EQ2, and she says, Nathan and I both left our homes and all that we own. I hope our deputies can clear up the situation soon. Barmaid Rosaline says, forget about the troubles outside for a moment and have a bag of ale. Bindo Halfbottom says, hello. So well wonderful that you've taken the time to help us. I say, who could resist a halfling in need? And then we need Banker Fargrove. Well, that one. Let's check on it. Because, yeah. Who is? Wait. I know where the bunker is. Now that I've clicked it on my map, I also know that it's going into that place. It's got the safe in it, you know? The safe. Oh, look, it's chrome blue. I have seen that guy before, but I can't think where. I just got out of this room. What am I doing? Alright, yes. Here's the gold. Ah, here he is, wandering around outside of a weird. I don't think he's supposed to wander around outside. Maybe I'm wrong. But here he is. We're hailing for leaves. I'm sorry, but the bank is closed. We're using space for salvage goods from our homes. Now, I should read the book. There it is. We did the prologue. Now we're on chapter 3. We travel through the Pithecore woods, thence to Nectalos, said the ranger, patting Gumpy's shoulder. You will be our emissary, Hound Slayer. Delivering dispatches between units, as you are well acquainted with the woods. Gumpy tried to explain that he wasn't as familiar with the woods as the rangers credited him. But his new friend laughed merrily and said, Nay, your modesty is all too well known for us, Hound Slayer. Now let us prepare for the coming battle. Gumpy had never paid much attention to the gnomes that had been showing up in increasing numbers within the past months, but now they lined the streets of Rivervale alongside the halflings, waving farewell to the departing troops. We won't be sneaking up on anyone anytime soon, grumbled Gumpy, since everyone within 100 sprockets of here can hear the racket. We finished that quest and leveled. The Pithecore Ranger unit with Gumpy was the last to leave Rivervale. Turning to look over his shoulder at his hometown, Gumpy felt a lump in his throat, and his eyes stung as they pricked by tiny needles. Damn, must be getting old, he thought, wiping his eyes at the back of his hand. It's the last breakfast I'll ever have at the egg pan. God, I'm allergic to duck eggs again. Now we will accept this. So we have finished Leatherfoot Tales, the Hound Part 3, but we're getting Leatherfoot Tales, the Last of the Pterodall, Part 1, second edition. So now, here we go. This book continues the tale of the Hound Gumpy Natu as he and the Leatherfoot's elite unit head to their foreign quarters. Thank you for the contribution, Jibba. And yes, as it props. Alright, introduction. The Hound Slayer's adventures continue as he and his comrades make their way through the dangerous regions of Kithcor and Neptunus. Debate rages through history as to the origins of the Dark Elves, or, as they call themselves, the Pterodall. Considering how different they look, it's easy to see why folks might think they're not elves. Looking at them closely, though, one can see the tilt of their eyes and the ears and realize they really are elves. Sometimes folks call them elves, and sometimes Pterodall. Check the Fool's Gold for additional pages. Well, I happen to be in the Fool's Gold even now, as we speak. But I think not the right place for this. Maybe. This is the battlefield. This is the Fool's Gold. Here we are. Did not find any loose pages, that's true. Now, let's talk to Sheriff Danny. Now, you'll recall, he doesn't have any speech bubbles until you put H or /H he made up.
Hail, Deputy! You need to honor your new title and kill more of those beasts!
I say, yes, sir. Ask Deputy Slyfoot for pages. There's Deputy Slyfoot. We'll hail him. He gives us a new chapter, so we read the book. Already did the prologue. To commemorate his receiving the nickname Hound Slayer, the Kithcor Ranger squad leader insisted upon slicing off the dead wolf's tail and tying it to Gumpy's belt. See, we've already read this. That's not the one we need. We now need a different binding. It's this one here, Rivervale Tales. Try again. Alright, introduction we've done. And prologue. Now, chapter 1. Battles fought every day in some form or other through the world. It seemed to Gumpy Natu, whom the Kithcor Rangers had named the Hound Slayer, that it would be much simpler if they could get from point A, Rivervale, to point B, First Gate, without anyone else trying to stop them. But no, that would indeed be too simple. Though the units traveled through Kithcor quickly and silently, they still ran into occasional problems. Gumpy was tasked with relaying messages between the Halflings Leatherfoot units and the Kithcor Ranger units. As they were traveling through the woods quickly and as silently as possible, Gumpy's messages were often late by the time they received their destination. By they reached their destination. And are about ready to pass out, Gumpy said under his breath. Any more running around, and I will name them Gumpy Slayer. On one of his fruitless treks, Gumpy unexpectedly encountered a group of brute gnomes. In the past several months, gnomes from Akanon on Clayburg had been seeking refuge in Rivervale from an advancing force of dark elves. These gnomes, however, were not heading toward Rivervale, but rather away from it. "We're with the Leatherfeet," said one of them when Gumpy approached. "We've got a mechanomagical device that we're finishing up for your fight." "Oh," said Gumpy blankly. "That's nice." And now we're going to go ask other people about wages, and they're just sort of all over. But we're going to start over here. Deputy Shallowfoot. We hail him. He didn't say a word to us. But we'll hail this one. It also says nothing. It says we spoke with them, but we didn't all speak with them. So this one, then nothing. This guy's running around like a maniac, so we'll have to kind of catch up to him here. We'll hail this one first, because he's on the way. And being all still and stuff. Let's see if we can chase this guy down. It's very fast. Okay. Alright, excellent. And then we just need Deputy Burrowfin. Burrowfin? Maybe Burrowfin. I don't know. Right here. Alright, and now I should read the book. They said nothing to me. They're very rude. That's the introduction and the prologue. Now we're on chapter 2. Meeting up with the gnomes wasn't the first time that he wished he hadn't slipped out for a snack during the sergeant's briefing. When the units camped down for the night, he tried to overhear any discussion of the forthcoming battle so that he might know their plan. He felt as though he may as well be on the Dark Elf side, as he had no idea what the halflings and Pittsburgh units were going to do once they reached the first gate. And what of the gnomes? The gnomes proved a chatty group, and Gumpy found himself tagging along with them more and more frequently as the journey continued through Pittsburgh. Every so often, an arrow would whistle out of the dark and take out one of the gnomes. For a few minutes thereafter, the remaining gnomes whispered anxiously, but in time they forgot their caution and would chat normally again, until the next arrow was doing, whereupon they began whispering anew. From their incessant chatter, Gumpy learned that the gnomes, while fleeing the battle, were also doing a favor for the High Elves in Fellow. The High Elves were concerned that the Dark Elves would overtake the city by keeping it besieged. They had asked the gnomes to head to their to stop any reinforcements from invading. In return, the gnomes appealed to the Pittsburgh Rangers and the Leatherfoot Tales units for help. Oh, thank you for the subscription, myself, 337. I now got to hunt for some ragged, jagged teeth once more. A couple of them up over here. And just drop that out there like that. May as well knock this guy out, and then get the other tooth over here. We're getting quite a few of those strong-blooded dwarves, which is nice. I don't necessarily need them for this guy, but I can stick them into the a shared thing for some of the lower level folks. I would put them into the house depot, except that the house depot for some reason does not recognize the blood of the wolf potions as potions, so it won't let me stick them into the depot. It's unfortunate. guys for work. Too bad. Run him off very quickly. And then return back around to get some of those rabbit jagged tooths. This rabbit top is don't really mind that. It's easy enough. There's my rabbit jagged tooth column. And this time, I'm gonna run those guys out. Theoretically, they don't stun me and fun me. And then this guy stay on me. I can't let them run on, so that's kind of an issue. Let's make sure it looks like I do still have my auto transfer on those. It's good. Gotta get a little bit of regen before I can go for this next one. However, the good news is the rabbit jagged tooths are found right here. Looks like there is an ad break, but I did not hear this coming up just now. About that. Try to push those with little girdle. So I don't have a whole lot right now. Looks like 3 out of the 5 ragged teeth dogs that I need are right here. Piercing is slowly getting better, and at some point later on, I'll have to look in my focus again. But not right now. No need for all that. I also need to preserve the power right now because I have to hunt for some more these velvet dragon teeth up the rest. Not very far, however. This should be the last 2 that I need for this page. Now I must read the book again. I've already read the introduction and the prologue. To chapter 3. But what exactly are we going to do? Gumpy asked when Gumpy of Gnomes left. Why, it's easy peasy, laughed the gnome, patting his chest confidently. You see, we gnomes know there's only one way in, and out of Myriad, and that's the first gate, right? So, we're going to take this Mechanic Magic class, and at that unfortunate moment, an arrow struck the gnome, and Gumpy learned nothing more about their mission. There won't be any gnomes left at this rate, Gumpy thought. I wonder what he had in his pocket. Slipping his fingers into the dead gnome's coat, Gumpy located a small jumble of sprockets. Or were they cogs? He could never remember. And pulled it out. It looked interesting, but Gumpy wished it had been something like venison jerky instead. There, I'll take that, son. The sergeant's whisper nearly caused Gumpy to leap out of his ivy-etched jerkin. The Sarge added, hopefully we'll have at least one gnome left by the first gate, or we won't know how it's to go together. Go on, then. All around them, Kithakor Rangers emerged from the shadows of the trees, each grabbing a gnome by the scruff of its neck before disappearing again. Alright, so we finished that one, and now we have the next one, Leatherfoot Tales, The Last of the Pterodactyl, Part 2, 2nd edition. This book contains the further adventures of the Hound Slayer Gumpy Gnatu, as he and the Leatherfoot's elite unit head to Myriad's forum further it. Introduction. The Hound Slayer and his comrades make their way through Nectar's forest, encountering something unexpected. Rivervale. The Kithakor Rangers, the Leatherfoot Elite, and Gumpy and Natu paused on the edge of Nectar's forest. They had all heard the fireside tales of ash-filled trees dropping clouds of laughter and promise on unsuspecting travelers. After conferring about their route, the ranger who had befriended Gumpy nodded toward him. I say let the hunter lead the way, for he is crafty and so shall surely lead us unscathed through these perilous woods. The first few pages of this book seem to be stuck together. I've heard that a brownie's magic aura can help release the stuck pages. I should find Millipus in Rivervale. Yeah, Millipus. Should show up on track. He is sitting over here. He even shows up on the map. I'm just going to run over to him and fan all of this out. Right.
Hello.
This is in luck? No, I suppose not. Millipus recommended beeswax to unslip the book's pages. I'll gather some of the wax, some from the wax workers and Rivervale. So we need 5 updates. I don't know if it's a 1-for-1 update. I kind of doubt it. That was 105, but maybe. So far, we have 2 out of 2 updated. So maybe it is 1-for-1. That would be nice. Very promising. 4 of 5. Very nice. 1 more to go. Let me read the book again. This is part 2, second edition, so that should be the right one. We've read the introduction and the prologue later. Chapter 1. Everyone was quick to agree with the ranger, and they pushed Gumpy to the core of the group. Gumpy had given up trying to explain himself to the admiring rangers ever since that incident with the Dread Wolf. After being considered a bumpkin for most of his days, the adulation was rather pleasant. In fact, maybe the rangers were the only folk who saw his true worth. Gumpy's heart swelled with pride as he led the way. 3 days later, Gumpy heard one of the gnomes, they were being carried in rucksacks on the Kithakor Rangers' backs, say, I had no idea Nectar's forest was this huge. I always thought it pretty small. Another gnome in another rucksack further away agreed. Gumpy heartily wished an ash-laden branch would break over the little chatterboxes' heads. They came to the edge of a clearing and stumbled into another group of Leatherfoot halflings. The Sarge took over all the talking, never explaining why they were in Nectar's forest, but apparently asking the way to Nereak. The Kithakor Rangers frowned at the Sarge, and one of them whispered to Gumpy, It's no shame to stop and ask the directions, Dusty. Your way is much better, for it confounds those who follow us. I name you Pathfinder King. Now our quest says, because of the unusual marks in the cover of this book, I've checked the white rats for the next pages. So, I believe that you're talking about regular white rats, which won't be a little probably beyond my meager abilities. Leopard Beast says, hi, what class are you playing? I'm playing a swashbuckler on Origins. Do you play EverQuest 2? Aha, a young white rat counts as well. Oh, nice. That makes it so different. You can stand on your screen. Is that good or bad? Says good, but I have no idea what class to play because I have no idea what they look like later in the game. Ah, are you on Live or are you on Origins? That's an experience. I like the early games. Okay, so we're doing Origins then? Change some of what you're going to see visually by your particle settings. I currently have my particle settings turned off for the characters, so you don't see as much glowing and things like that. In pain. It's really much for me. Look at this. Oh, I thought you were saying I love the early game cathedral event. That makes sense. I never class looks so much cooler than I know to like. I got so much back into animation eyes. I tell you, like, live is definitely a different experience overall than if you call it classic, like whatever you call it, Origins currently is representative of what it was like, somewhat representative of what it was like early on in the game's history. It's not exactly right, but it's not far off. from what it was like. And currently this is set in like late 2006, so it's not bad. As far as the animations, I'm so non-visual, I can't even tell you about that. But as far as the gameplay and just the overall feel, and again, the community and things like that, I would say they have it much better on this server than on the other one. I don't want to regulate like that. Stay have a look. But we can have some young black rats. So I should thought that. I'm sure I should thought in problem. Oh yeah, no problem. I see that there's an ad at the moment, so soon, but what to be probably won't give me at the moment. But yeah, my knowledge of the animation buttons is pretty low. But I do turn off particle effects for the characters typically, and also I just don't notice like aesthetic components as much as most people, I suppose. Well, I don't want you fettered like that either. You want me snap jaws. We have to go a little further back here and try to find something that's more up my alley. Like these Light Red Adventures, yeah, we can handle those. And those tutor group, which is nice. I only need 3 more guys before I can move the next page to this. I can take this snapshot tour. I was thinking there will work, but they're not. And then it doesn't time to read the book again. Oh, but it isn't, because it just went straight to the next thing and said the Black Rats did not have the missing pages. I wonder if the Vale seedlings do. Good question. Do the Vale seedlings? Right. Now you'll notice that they're very social. And in spite of the fact that they're not aggro, if they wander out and you're in the middle of a fight with another one, they will aggro and kill. Sort of like the centaurs if you want good action with them. Oh, but not that one. I don't want that one. That one is not good. But he is rogue. She. Don't need the private part. My faction of the buildings in Rivervale got lost from the code baton. I'm going to try to one of these to room alone. This one's kind of an English. Maybe. We can get out of her without putting it again. Alright, now I need to read the book. And the book says, it passed the introduction in the prologue. I'll go to chapter 2. It seemed rather odd to Gumpy that the typical Rangers kept naming him, yet none of them ever gave out their own names. He'd asked a couple of them, but they merely laughed and said that the typical Rangers left their names behind with their families. An odd group, but Gumpy was getting used to their peculiar ways. Whatever strange habits they had, there was one thing for certain: they were generous in sharing their rations. One of the Leatherfoot scouts they found camping in Nectar's forest accompanied them the rest of the way through. There's that river again. Gumpy heard one of the gnomes comment in the protective covering of its rucksack. At that moment, in accordance with Gumpy's earlier wishes, the branches of the tree above it cracked and threw a big ashen pumice on its head. Unfortunately, the ranger carrying the gnome did not survive either. We're down to 3 gnomes, the sergeant grumbled. His rucksack bulged with the array of sprockets, gears, and flizzgigs taken from the deceased gnomes along the way. One of these little fellows has got to make it to the first gate, or we won't know how to put their mechano-magical thing to work. The Kithicore Rangers concurred and decided to gag the gnomes to keep them silent the remainder of the journey. Gumpy was not alone in his glee. Alright, I should find Merchant Timbercock to see if he has the missing pages. I thought for a second that I saw a feather flashing on my page, but no. Only the book. Here we have Merchant Timbertop, and we want to press the H or slash hero or right click and open. I wish I could open my store back up, but I realized that all resources need to be saved in case things get even worse. And my book says I should find the baker, Yanya Wanderhill, to see if she has the missing pages. Alright, there's Yanya Wanderhill. I'm gonna press the H. Toby and I think we might need to leave our homes soon, as the pieces are drawing close. Now, nothing says I should read the book. So I shall. We go past the introduction and the prologue, and we go to chapter 3. Dawn the next day found the Leatherfoot elite and the Coral Rangers within spitting distance of the foreign crater. They could see and smell the trolls that inhabited the sector. A dark elf patrol wandered close by, and Gumpy was very glad he had the ivy-covered gladiolus given to him by the rangers at hand. These dark elves looked particularly fierce. A rustling from the nearby brush caught the attention of both dark elves, who turned quickly on their heels in one coordinated fluid motion. Gumpy could swear he saw their pointed ears prick up like a cat stalking a mouse. One of the gnomes, inexplicably out of its rucksack, stumbled out of the woods, pulling the gag from its mouth. Barely had it said, "Phew," when the dark elves surrounded it and sliced it to ribbons. Now they were down to 2 gnomes. No one else among them knew how to put together the mechanical magical device meant to ensure that no dark elves reinforced the forces attacking forward. Things were looking mighty grim. At that unfortunate moment, Gumpy's stomach gave a loud and irritated grumble. The dark elves stopped stabbing the fallen gnome and pricked up their ears again. Gumpy pushed on his gut with his free hand and thought, "Oops." And we have the next book. This book concludes the adventures of Gumpy Natu and the assault on Myriad. Introduction. The Hound Slayer, also called the Pathfinder, and his comrades take the first gate and bring this tale to its conclusion. Prologue. The Terror-Dog guards peered this way and that into the wooded area in which Gumpy Natu, the Kithcore Rangers, and the Leatherfoot elite were hiding. Gumpy's tummy rumbling had excited their cat-like curiosity, and left Gumpy cursing himself for not eating more at dinner the night before. When the dark elf guards came closer to the tree line, 2 of the rangers nipped out and grabbed them, pulling that danger to its close. My journal says, "I'm not sure where to begin looking for the missing pages. Stop at the fool's gold might be inspirational." That's the pot of gold there. I don't want that lantern over here.
It's time for you to do your duty for Rivervale.
I've been inspired to speak to Darley Brickwater's. She might have ideas on where to find more pages. Alright, Darley Brickwater's. Let me just click go. She's up there, actually. I see her book over her head. Alright, Darley Brickwater's. We'll scale her with an H. My sister and I were traveling when the demons moved in. We haven't been able to go back to our homes yet. And now the journal says Darley Brickwater suggests I speak with Professor Dendel Farfeather. Perhaps he's a history professor. Here is Professor Dendel Farfeather.
Hello!
Grand to make your acquaintance. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Professor Dendel Farfeather of the Academy of Arcane Science, Vault to our knowledge. Who might you be? I say, I am Copernicus. What are you doing so far from Freeport? He says, Freeport may be the motherland, but the uncharted wilds of Lorath are my destiny. I have been sent to map these new lands. I have already mapped the entirety of the Enchanted Lands, a task that was hindered by the dangers of nightbloods and other beasts. I say, I can't talk now. Farewell. And my journal says, Professor Farfeather suggested I go to Enchanted Lands. It was an interesting way to suggest it, but here we are, I suppose. They say he suggested it? Well, I guess he suggested it. Don't know why, but I always go to the wrong door first to try to leave there pretty much every single time. Alright, so now I have to go to the Enchanted Lands. It immediately says I've gone to the Enchanted Lands. I'd like to check in Deputy Stoutcoat. Maybe he has some of the missing pages. Do we think he does? Perhaps. We'll see. I'll note that my journal is getting dangerously close to full once more. And, not journal, I meant bags. And unfortunately, there are shinies along this path. It cannot be overlooked, but I am going to pass on that one, because I don't need it, and it's new trade. Don't want that one either. There's another one. Now, you may recall Deputy's type bit from earlier. There he is again.
I knew it. I just knew it. Oh, so you've come back yet again. What do you want now?
It's about the third book of the last of the trade all.
I bet you've gone and lost your book, haven't you? What do you think I am, some kind of lost and found? Take this copy. Read it all the way through. We need more folk like the Sarge. He wouldn't have lost anything.
I'll try to be more careful. And now I should read the book again. You've read the introduction in the playbook, and now we are on chapter 1. The units were gathered together and waited only for the Sarge's signal before swarming the first gate. They had measured the defense of the area, located breaches in the security, and planned accordingly. Gumpy dug in his pockets for some venison jerky, a hunk of bread or cheese to keep his stomach from growling again, but found himself without a single snack. Curses, he muttered. At that moment, the Sarge gave the signal. Pausing only to rifle the dead gnome's coat for any of the magical thing's parts, Gumpy found himself at the rear of the formation. He brandished his ivy-edged gladius menacingly and joined the fray. While their force was not particularly large, they had surprise on their side, thanks to the gagging of the remaining 2 gnomes, and were making mincemeat of the scant forces guarding the first gate. Gumpy located the Sarge and gave him the gizmo he'd found on the fallen gnome. Thanks, Gumpy, the Sarge said, adding, I haven't said nothing to you before now, but you're a good trooper. Glad the Rangers took to you so well. We couldn't have done this without him. Gumpy blushed. This time he remembered. It's no surprise that Deputy Stoutgut suspects the Lamia carvers have run off with the missing pages, says my journal. The Lamia carvers are to the far north, as I recall, along the beach there. Now, you see, shockingly, I'm already 17% through the level. I'm sure to be paying some attention as I run along here because I do need barrels as well. Barrels of lager, no less. Don't see. Under there. Now there's evil eyes. You can see a very long ways. That will certainly see me. We have a Lamia carver down here. So just as I thought, they are on the northern beach. good news is that the fibers are not there. Looks like the outbreak and taking my communities back. That's nice. Certainly putting us more than these guys, at least. Oh, that's very nice leather piece for a monk. I got 6 out of 10 on the towers. Must be 7 and 8 right here. Not bad. I don't think I need any more of the against storm chains, but maybe. I don't think so. Let's see. Examine. No, I don't. I can just delete that one. Alright, I'm gonna go around and hack the valve from that, so let's see. Must come back. Aha, it's inside. Oh, that's a shame. How about we trade this Detsinger that's on the beach for that powder that's inside there? I think that the Detsinger sees through. Yes. Piles up. I need to get in there really to update this dude. I wonder if I can try something. I mean, I can certainly try it. I wonder if it'll work. Ah, easily. No problem. Okay, 2 miners in here.
What is it, eh? What have you got there? Them are supplies? Fantastic! What with the density of the rock increasing and these vile beasts blocking our exit, I wasn't sure what we were going to do.
There you go, then.
This will work just fine. Take this message to Sarah and let her know we'll continue working this section. Or at least until these beasts move on. Say, I found these. Why don't you take them for bringing us our supplies?
Alright. There, you the only questions. And that quest is now updated to return sail evil. Right, while we're knowing whether to inspect this, inspect it, and accept this quest. It says, the chest is bound with a complex lock requiring 3 keys to release it. Emblazoned on the lid is the image of a lamia slicing halflings into several pieces. Alright, very good, very good. Now, find a lamia card. It should be inside this very code. Pretty sure, yep. She also sees the invades. Pretty adept singer line. Alright, good. I don't like that one bit. Let's go on the other direction. Ah. Get out of a tough spot that way, if nothing else. And, also, I need to come over here anyway to update with this one. I'm returning to Sarah Bloomberg, who is in the sort of, it's inside like a tower of the wall. Maybe it's a guardhouse? Oh yeah, makes sense, the great guard. She says, it's universe barging like that. But then we talk to her and she says,
What's this? I see they sent word of their progress. Or rather, what's impeding their progress? Thank you. As I promised, here's something for your trouble. It's the not knowing that's difficult. You've made my job a lot easier. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'll accept your gold 5 silver and 82 copper. And we also got this quest completion. I was able to find the miners to deliver their supplies. They asked me to return to Sarah and deliver a message for them. This was a little easier than the first task. Alright, excellent. Got that knocked out. Well, I suppose we can head back up there. Get the last cargo that I needed. Good news is that by the time I get there, it will definitely respawn. Let's see if there's anything else I should do in that area. Yeah, I could go up via the river here and look for the logger along the road. Someone's asking Keith and Paul. No, he's not bugged. Still need to get 4 out of 5 of the barrels with the Leatherfoot. No luck on the barrels thus far. Lots of goblins after me, but I'm not real concerned about them. Don't see it. But alrighty then. Let's check out these powders. Runoff visualize it on me. No, I didn't realize there was this one still on me. There we go. And then back over here for this one. Alright, number 10 of 10, and then I'll read book 10. Book is here. If I can have a card line in it. I've already read the introduction to the prologue. Chapter 2. The Kithical Rangers and Leatherfoot elite troops further into the fallen quarter, easily overcoming the resistance. It's like slicing butter with a warm knife, Pregnant Rangers. Why do you have to say butter? Thought Gumpy was your blue vision you could find something to eat. His stomach continued its dull roar that was getting louder with every passing moment. The child. We fought alongside the Sarge, who was trying to make his way forward with the remaining gnomes. A mechanomagical thing had to be put together, but only they knew how. Sniffing the air, the Sarge growled, "Gumpy, I told you to get rid of that nasty wolf tail. It's really starting to break." Gumpy glanced at his belt, where the Rangers had hung the dread wolf's tail as a trophy piece. It was gone. Sorry, Chase, but Gumpy got no further as a lava rumbling shook the ground beneath their feet. The Sarge tottered for a moment and then regained his balance. "Oh, for Bristlebane's sake," the Sarge grumbled, digging into his pocket and handing Gumpy a chunk of cheese. "Eat something, your stomach's gonna shake the world down around our heads." And then the Sarge spotted one of the gnomes and darted off, leaving Gumpy behind. Final pages must be among the warped nymphs in the Enchanted Lands. So saith the book. No quest items there. I still need all 3 of these guys. And Lamia of any kind can update it. These guys are very accessible, things that are right beside me, so I won't get them. Aha, number 1 of 3. Excellent. That did things for them. That was 2 of 3. And that's the 3rd one I need. Oh, good. Now we have to return to the Lamia chest. The easiest way to get there. Just click this, and then run like the wind, but it's a very slow wind because we're invisible part of it. Run like the wind until we're no longer at all like the wind in the way that's moving. And then you can just fan. Simple enough. Stand up. Use the 3 carver keys. You open the chest to find nearly empty. What little you find must have been taken from the pockets of unfortunate halfling victims. Close the chest, and we'll accept 10 gold and 67 copper names. Alright, so finish that quest off. Unfortunately, this is what we call full inventory right there. So, I'll call the house to unload. I think after I unload this, I better probably take a break for a while. Maybe an hour or 2. I should probably eat some supper and all that kind of thing before I come back so that I can have a good, session after it. But first, I'm unload my bags and all that kind of thing. So I'll pop on into our guild house over here and dump things into our various depots. Hopefully, others can enjoy the spoils of various gatherings and whatnot. Oh, Evasion. For the 46 ADA. You know what though? I don't think I'm gonna get it because I don't really need it. I'm just probably going to just gonna buy the master if possible. If I can't buy the master, then I'm probably gonna make the ADA. So I don't think I'll bother with I'll make the 8 of 3s, but I'm an expert is what they call it on mod. 8 of 3 is what they call it on here. So for now though, I'm just gonna go throw some things. Oh look, bingo, dingo, bingo, bingo. That sounds very gnomish, and that this looks very non-gnomish. Does a wood elf male. Bingo, dingo, the wood elf. I gotta question that, you know? I just don't know. Alright, now, moving forward. Provision. I will put the hide not for sale button so that I get rid of all that stuff that I'm not interested in selling. And make my situation a little easier. And certainly these books are not for sale, that's for sure. And I also have some strong will at the wolf.
Please tell me you're not trying to get a loan with livestock collateral.
Oh well. That looks much better already, honestly. I will sort it. It looks like I need some food. Put that in there. Try sorting that again. Okay. Looks much better in the bags. And again, I'm going to throw these items in here for now. And I think I'm going to see if I can find some masters on one of the brokers or the other. And I was realizing it would be easier rather than going from one to the other in Kimo's Harbor. First and foremost, I can just try and check the market inside the house, and then I'll know whether I need to go to the Kimo's or the Freeport Market. Those who don't know, there's a fence, a black market salesman in Kimo's Harbor. Alright, let's see. What do I actually need right now in the way of upgrades? We haven't sorted. I think we already haven't sorted the level across, but I'm just going to resort them just in case somehow I don't. Okay, we have Dextrous Slashing as an apprentice right now. That's terrible. Cheapest one is 4 platinum on all the broker for the master. That's no fun. We'll try first bravado. See, that's more like it right there. Increases hate gain, increases haste. And that's on a melee hit. So, I like that pretty well. And I can get it from Starcrest Common, or I can get it from Willow Wood. The Willow Wood is right here, and they both cost the same. So, Rick at Willow Wood, that's what I move. You grab that real quick. It is a cheap master, absolutely. take advantage of it when it's there. So correct it is. And we can flash roll out of it. Very nice. I like it. Now, what that means is that we can replace the Bane Bravado, the tag there, with the Boss Bravado that you see right here. Very nice. Individual says, wish I could find Paladin Masters that cheap. Yeah, and you might be able to. You just have to keep checking regularly. Who happens to have a bird, but I can't use it because I'm not a trusty a brit. Shockingly. That's alright, we'll pop back over to the guild house over here and use that bird board. Oh, I got mad at same time. Sanctum, Villager Sanctum is the Sanctum of Scareborn and Tempest Tangle. It's a dungeon up there. It's got a lot of droids in it. Alright, so there are no Masters of Evasion. Let's try Avoid Blame. Oh wow, that's ridiculously cheap right there. So I suppose I'll be popping over to Nettleville for Sicily to get an Avoid Blame. Sicily in Nettleville. Nettleville is the ones I'm not super familiar with, but I think it's super this direction to in. I think they completely off. But we shall see. I don't think this is right, is it? No, it's not right. Try this one. Let's, Papers and Potions doesn't sound very likely. It's the Alchemist first. Oh, well, yes, there's the indigo marked right there on the map. Oh, that's right. We made it down there. I don't even know go. Alright, let's see what we've got now. There's a sales district. That's exactly the one. Right there. Very nice. That's not what I need to do. That's it. Unless avoid Flame Master will replace this with a Retention Master right here. So clear this factory. Change this to a long board, and drag this down to there. Put it on. And now let's see that. That's the peat bar. We don't want to go that way. This way. Ah, Coffee says, how far are you with the note? Alright. I think I might have done the first quest. Let's see that. Easiest way to do this is try to hop back over the villager, go back to the broker, and go to the marketplace. Yeah, I don't mean that. Because the advantage there is that you get to see all of the available things, not just the ones that are, specific. I accidentally clicked enter. Anyway, it's a shame. Let's check that. So maybe I have some things I can move here. That would be good. I doubt it, but maybe. It doesn't look like it. Unfortunately. Yeah, well. Try that again, but this time, with the button better. Alright, let's see. I'll go to this coordinate. I ought to have a market guard in my house if I may. And that would be fun. Actually, Sophia says she's not sure she will still be on maybe Pop. That's unfortunate. So she has to do some things this evening. It's unfortunate. Oh, maybe soon. Rays will kill when cold comes off, just like that. Treacherous Blade is the next one. Let's hopefully that's to make it easy. Let's see what the first day cut the author is. 8 at 3 for 4 button. I think no. I can make my own. Thank you very much. Quiet strike. Nothing. No. This time was back there. There's. What the heck? You're doing 8 at 12. That's crazy. Where's the top? Okay. Raise your edge. I already have the expert up, but just out of curiosity, let's see if they have them. There is one, but it's too platinum. Certainly not worth my upgrade from an expert to that. Polish is too way I have the expert. Yeah, that's really not a bad price for the master, but I don't really think I want to pay it. Let's see if I have any others on this page. Dead infants, sure. None on. Looks like I've got some pretty good stuff beyond that. Sloop is still low, it's still an 8 up. I'm not as concerned about that. There's so many different ways to control that baby. This character. Certainly not going to be too platinum for it. No, I think not. Alright, excellent. So, in that case, okay, Gumpy says, well, no, it doesn't really know my dinner. I'll be around again tomorrow, though, she says. Alright, I've got to run, guys. I've got to go get some supper, taking care of a few other things, and hopefully I'll be back in a couple of hours. If you're not following me yet, be sure to follow me and turn on the notifications so that you can see when I go live. It was a pleasure streaming with you all. I enjoyed talking to you. It's always nice to meet you folks, but I gotta run for now, so I'll see you later. Bye-bye.